Welcome to the Bible story genealogy of Iran, Japheth and Madai. As you pointed out, the descendants of Noah's son Japheth, more especially his son Madai, are the source of Iran's biblical heritage. Madai is the father of the Medes, one of the peoples who, along with the Persians, laid the groundwork for the Achaemenid Empire, the First Persian Empire, according to the genealogies in Genesis 10. This connects the Iranian people to the post-flood environment directly and binds them to the biblical story from the first. This genealogy is important because it demonstrates that the people who would later become Persia were directly connected to a line that expanded over the world following the flood, in addition to being a part of the greater human saga, the history of Israel and the rise of the Persian Empire. In Israel's history, the Persian Empire, led by Cyrus the Great, was crucial. Following the Babylonian exile, the most significant and direct intervention took place. As you noted, Jerusalem, the First Temple, and the Jewish people were all destroyed by the Babylonians under King Nebuchadnezzar. This incident confirmed Jeremiah's prophecy that Israel would be held captive for 70 years. Israel's history and the development of the Persian Empire. Cyrus the Great's Persian Empire played a significant role in Israel's history. The most direct and major intervention occurred after the Babylonian exile. As you pointed out, King Nebuchadnezzar's Babylonians destroyed Jerusalem, the First Temple, and the Jewish people. Jeremiah's prediction that Israel would be imprisoned for 70 years was validated by this event. Cyrus as a tool for God's will. Even more significant is the fact that in the Isaiahic predictions, God specifically addresses Cyrus by name. More than a century before Cyrus was born, Isaiah 44:28, and subsequently Isaiah 45:1, foretells that he would be the one to aid in the restoration of Israel. Indeed, Cyrus is referred to as his anointed. The Hebrew word for anointed is Messiah, in Isaiah 45:1, a title usually reserved for Jewish monarchs. Because God used Cyrus, a heathen monarch, as a tool to carry out his plan, this is a potent revelation. This astounding truth demonstrates that God's purposes are not exclusive to the Israelites, who were part of the covenant. Even if they are not part of his covenant, he can utilize any country or ruler to accomplish his divine goals. Here, the pagan Persian monarch fulfills prophecy and prepares the way for the temple's reconstruction, serving as God's instrument for Israel's deliverance. Persia's function in prophecy. The importance of Persia in biblical prophecy is also noteworthy when considering the prophet Daniel's visions. He sees a ram with 2 horns in Daniel 8, which is subsequently revealed to be a representation of the Persians and Medes. According to legend, the ram is a powerful animal that dominates the globe, defeating everything in its path. This vision foreshadows how Persia will be used as a tool for God's purposes in the world, while also demonstrating the might and scope of the Persian Empire. Furthermore, the Persian Empire is frequently associated with the broader story of global empires in the Book of Revelation's prophecies of the times of the Gentiles and Daniel 7's vision of the 4 beasts. This suggests that, especially in light of the end times, Iran and Persia are viewed as major powers that will influence global events in the future and play a significant part in the realization of God's purpose for humanity. The biblical connection with Persia in the contemporary world Iran continues to play an important role in the globe today, especially in the Middle East. Many people think that Iran, Persia, will continue to play an important role in biblical prophecy, despite the fact that the political and theological landscape has significantly changed from biblical times. Persia is frequently mentioned as a component of the greater fabric of global empires that are essential to the realization of God's ultimate purpose for humanity in the Bible's apocalyptic visions, especially in the books of Daniel and Revelation. For instance, the prophecy of Gog and Magog in Ezekiel 38-39 is frequently understood to foretell a coalition of nations that will attack Israel in the final days. Persia, modern-day Iran, is often associated with this position by scholars and prophecy interpreters. Persia is specifically mentioned in Ezekiel 38 verse 5 as one of the countries that will form an alliance with other countries, including Turkey and Russia, in a last conflict with Israel. Many people think that Iran's current role symbolically connects to ancient Persia, even if the prophetic importance of Persia's participation in the end times is frequently disputed. The larger biblical story is interwoven with the country's historical heritage, ascent from the Achaemenid Empire, and subsequent impact under the Sassanid Empire. Biblical prophecies about Persia, one of the oldest civilizations on Earth, are not to be taken literally. It also acts as a potent reminder of God's capacity to utilize countries for His purposes, whether those reasons be ones of blessing or punishment. The restoration of Israel and the reconstruction of Jerusalem, two events with major biblical significance, are central to prophecy. It is feasible to see the return of the Jewish people to the land of Israel in modern history, which began with the Zionist movement of the 20th century and ended with the creation of the contemporary state of Israel, as a component of God's promises being fulfilled. Iran's current place in world geopolitics and its ongoing influence in the Middle East may be crucial to the realization of biblical prophecies about Israel's eventual restoration and the events surrounding the second coming of Christ, given Persia's history of aiding in Israel's restoration. The ancient Persian Empire, which was primarily pagan and ruled by kings like Cyrus the Great, stands in sharp contrast to the contemporary political environment in Iran, which is characterized by the Islamic Republic and the dominance of the Shia clerical leadership. Iran's current theocratic system of governance has resulted in a substantial theological departure from traditional Persian religious customs. Despite this, Iran remains an intriguing case study at the nexus of history, prophecy, and contemporary geopolitics because of Persia's lasting biblical heritage. In the end, there is a historical and prophetic relationship between Persia, Iran, and the biblical story. Persia has a strong relationship to the biblical narrative, dating back to the Medes and Persians of antiquity, and Cyrus's part in restoring Israel. Even though the modern world is quite different from the one that the Bible describes, Iran's role as Persia may still be relevant, especially as the geopolitical landscape changes and the last chapters of world history are still to come. A more comprehensive view of the Bible's eternal importance and its insights into the past, present, and future is possible when one is aware of this continuing link. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel.